also changed into fall attire because I felt like filming the finally fall book tag. My favorite month is actually winter.
Yes, winter, my favorite month. Good job, Matt.
Because you can just be cozy inside, but then there are some fun things that you can do outside. So the first question is to name a book with a vivid setting. For that, there are a couple options, but The Name of the Wind is an honorable mention, but I think I'm going to go with The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. That book takes place in a post-apocalyptic / currently apocalyptic world where the continent, very ironically named the Stillness, is racked by constant environmental disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, etc. And so the book is very kind of desolate in setting. At the beginning of the book, in the world, there are things called fifth seasons, and that's when one of these apocalyptic, near extinction level events takes place. And so a volcano might erupt and it'll spew ash into the air until it's nuclear winter and the sun doesn't get through and the planet cools down a bunch. And that might be called the season of teeth because it lasts for a long time and people have to start eating each other. It's not a nice place to live, but it's definitely a super vivid setting. And I just think it's a really cool world. It's not something that I've seen a lot in most fantasy books. The Name of the Wind is a good honorable mention, though. It's a super vivid and setting, too. The next question is name a book that is beautifully written but deals with a hard topic like loss or grief. And for that, I could go with any Guy Gavriel Kay book, but I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Sion. Any book by Sion. He has these tiny little books. My favorite is From the Mouth of the Whale. And this actually is a good answer for the last question, too. It takes place in Iceland back in, I think, the late 1800s, if I remember correctly. And it is super vivid in setting. It's very beautifully written, and it is sad. These books are pretty sad, but they're really fantastic, and they're super short, so you can get through them really fast. There's The Blue Fox, From the Mouth of the Whale, and The Whispering Muse, and they're all super short, so you should go get them. The next question is name a fictional family that you want to be a part of. And for this, I am not going with books. I am going with the TV show, the Netflix show Sense8. I want to be part of their family so bad. So bad. Sense8 is a very cool story. It's so just like wholesome and happy. It makes me happy to watch. There are 8 people around the world who one day become telepathically connected. And so they can talk to each other in their minds. They have access to each other's skills. So there's a Korean businesswoman who's very good at judo, and the other characters are able to access her fighting skills if necessary. And there's a tech wizard girl named Naomi, and so other people are able to hack with her skills, things like that. And their family is just so beautiful and wholesome. Every time I watch it, it makes me happy. I've watched the show probably 6 times, and the finale, the kind of like third season, they made like I think a 3-hour finale, and it made me cry at the end. Like it's so good. The kind of premise is that there's a secret government organization that wants to capture them and test them in order to create its own kind of weapon or something like that. That doesn't matter. Just ignore that. That's not even what the show's about for me. It's about the interactions between these 8 characters and their partners. And it's just so beautiful. So you have to watch the show. It's fantastic. Next question is get a fall stack of books. And this one is super easy. I think they're even in order already. Yep. Yeah, here we go. That was easy. Guy Gavriel Kay's books. They're even in order, going from green leaves all the way to fall colors. There's a song for Arbonne first, which is a very great book. Under Heaven, one of my least favorite books by him. Tigana, his most fantastical book. The others are more historical fiction with just a touch of fantasy. This one is actual fantasy. River of Stars, which I actually haven't read, and The Lands of El Rasan. And then I have his two other books, the Sarantine Mosaic, behind me, but those are blue and don't really match. But yeah, that was super easy. There's a full stack of books for you. The next question is to name a book where someone is telling a story, and I'm going to go with the name of the. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to go with A Conspiracy of Truths by Alexandra Rowland. This is a book that no one has ever heard of, and I might actually put it in one of my underrated reads videos. But look at the cover, it's so pretty. The back of this says, "Tell a good story that will catch and hold their attention or die." This is a book about a man, a very old man, and he's a traveling bard traveling with his apprentice in a very desolate, wintry land up north. And he gets arrested on suspicion of being a black magician. And so he's arrested, put in a jail cell in a tower, and he is telling the story to his kind of savior, I guess, about how he survived the jail and how he was trying to get acquitted and whatnot. But also throughout this book, he actually goes and tells different characters all of these mythological stories since he's a bard. And so you get all these tiny little short story vignettes within this book, and I thought it was really, really nice. But yeah, this is actually a very cool book and something that is super underrated, so you might want to check it out. And again, the cover is so pretty and also very fall themed. The next question is to name a short, heartwarming read. And I don't really read happy things. Oh, this is kind of short. Actually, this will work for the next question too, so I'm just going to combine them. This is the Pendragon series by DJ McHale, the first book being The Merchant of Death. They are not necessarily short exactly. They're around 400 pages, but they are kind of like middle grade books, and so they're super, super easy to fly through. The story is about a kid in high school, I think it's first or second year of high school, named Bobby Pendragon, and his uncle gets him and takes him into an abandoned subway tunnel where they open this door, walk into a crystal cavern, and are transported into this whole other world. And there, Bobby learns that he's something called a traveler. And so Bobby and his uncle travel to different realms and fight against a man slash a force named Saint Dane, who is bent on creating chaos throughout this kind of multiverse for some kind of master plan that we don't really know about. They were an old favorite when I was in elementary and middle school, I think. And yeah, I would actually definitely be down to reread these. The last question is to get any fall reading accessories that you have. And I don't really have any. So I'm going to go with these, a reading snack. They are Sunrise Breakfast Bars, pumpkin and spice flavor, and let me tell you, they are delicious. I eat them all the time, literally all the time. I buy them every time I go to the store, and I'm obsessed with them. Oh, actually, I do have a reading accessory. Aha! I have these reading socks. Chapters is basically like the Barnes and Nobles of Canada, and my mom bought me these for Christmas, actually, and they're just called the reading socks. They're like $20, and they are so comfy, so warm, and they're also really nice to wear in the winter on those super cold, frigid, -40 Canadian days where you need a little extra help in keeping warm. So yeah, these are fantastic. I love these. You should go grab a pair if you're in Canada. I actually want to go back and pick another book for an old favorite that I want to reread. And for that, I'm going to go with Bakemonogatari by Nisio Isin. This looks like a manga, but it's not. It's actually a light novel series by a Japanese author with a palindrome for a name. He is a super witty man, but I haven't actually really read his books in English. The only one that I have read is Bakemonogatari, and I quite liked it, but I don't know if I will like reading it from the main character's perspective, since Bakemonogatari was from a different character. This series has been turned into a anime by Shaft. The animation is beautiful. It's super well animated, and it's animated in a really, really artsy way. It's a very cool series, and I recommend you check it out. And for another old favorite I want to reread, I have Bakemonogatari, a book I've never actually read before. It translates to ghost story, but like one word, like ghost story, not ghost story, if that makes sense. I'll explain. But this is an old favorite because the anime is absolutely fantastic. It is by Shaft, and the animation is just so artsy and beautiful, and I really love it. My issue with this series is that it's technically a harem anime, and there is some fan service that I don't love. But what I think is that this is a series in which everyone saves themselves. There is a male main character, and there's a male named character named Koyomi, and basically all the other characters are girls. And you'd think that he would be the paranormal detective savior of the story, but he just kind of goes around pointing them in the right direction for them to save themselves. In this series, there are things called apparitions. They are either gods or spirits or yokai or whatever that have possessed or have had some kind of effect on some of the characters in the story. So the first story we get is of a girl named Hitagi, and she got possessed by a crab spirit who stole all of her burdens because her mother was in a cult and some things happened. But along with taking her burdens, he took all of her physical weight, and so she only weighs half a kilogram. I think she literally weighs like 1 pound, if I remember correctly. And so she has to kind of go and perform this exorcism where she confronts her own kind of traumas and whatnot. So Koyomi takes her, and she has to go confront her own demons, her own past, to perform this kind of exorcism in order to be free of the spirit and to get her weight back. And it's just a very cool take on paranormal, like possession and whatnot. All of these characters have been possessed because of some emotional struggle that they're dealing with. And I just find it really, really interesting and really cool that the author decided to go this route and having everyone confront their own feelings and actually deal with their issues. And so it's a really great anime series. I highly recommend it. I will put a link to a short little clip from Bakemonogatari that will let you know kind of what it's like. And yeah, you should definitely check out that link. It's kind of cool, this little like 5 minute scene. But yeah, it's a really great anime, so I'm excited to read this. Anyway, that is the last of the questions. So that was the Finally Fall book take. I hope you enjoyed. Good night. Ciao.